Okay, let's start with a question that might sound crazy, but bear with me. Is regret the most underrated transfer currency in football? Because if you listen to Ashley Young's recent comments about Danny Welbeck joining Chelsea, you'd think Manchester United missed out on some cosmic-level reunion. And honestly, this isn't just about one player. It's a masterclass in how clubs, fans, and even legends wrestle with the what-ifs of football decisions. Let me unpack this. First off, Welbeck's career feels like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Dude broke through at United under Ferguson, had moments of magic, then got shuffled out like a bad loan card under Moyes and Van Gaal. Now he's at Chelsea at 35, fresh off a 14-goal season at Brighton. But here's the twist. Young, Ferdinand, Neville. They're all acting like United blew a chance to fix a decade-old mistake. And I'm sitting here thinking, why does this hit differently than other transfer regrets? Let's dissect the nostalgia angle. When Ferdinand tweets "come home, Welbs," or Neville says, "we shouldn't have sold him," it's not just sentimentality, it's guilt. Clubs like United pride themselves on nurturing legends, but Welbeck's exit was a paradox. They sold a player who embodied the academy ethos, then watched him thrive everywhere else. Watford, Sunderland, Brighton. He kept proving he wasn't too small or too slow, the exact doubts that made United let him go. So now, when ex-players romanticize his return, they're really mourning a lost identity. The United way that Ferguson built, and Moyes/Gaal supposedly broke. But here's where I get skeptical. Is Welbeck actually the victim here or just a symbol? Let's be real, his career has been wildly inconsistent. At his peak with Arsenal, he was FA Cup hero Danny. At Sunderland, he vanished. At Brighton, late career renaissance. So why are we treating him like a generational talent? What this reveals is how fans and even pundits conflate longevity with quality. Welbeck's journey isn't about being underrated. It's about being adaptable. He survived being misused as a winger at United, reinvented himself as a striker, and now, he's a veteran presence at Chelsea. That's not a tragedy. It's a survival story. And yet, the tactical misuse angle stings. Young mentions Welbeck was gutted about not returning to United. But if we rewind to 2014, why did Moyes and Van Gaal keep shoving him out wide? Because they were idiots? Or because United's system demanded width and Welbeck's work rate fit a specific role? This is where the regret narrative gets messy. Clubs aren't just sentimental, they're systems. Selling Welbeck wasn't just a human decision. It was tactical. And now, a decade later, we're conflating personal loyalty with organizational evolution. Neville says he was fantastic for England, but let's not forget, England didn't exactly build a dynasty around him either. What's fascinating is how this mirrors modern football's identity crisis. Clubs like United are desperate to reconnect with their roots, sign homegrown stars, play attacking football, etc. But the reality is messy. Welbeck's career is a case study in how rigid systems crush potential. He wasn't a winger in the traditional sense, so managers either misused him or benched him. Contrast that with today's game, where hybrid forwards like Haaland or Kane blur lines between striker/winger/creator. If Welbeck had emerged in this era, maybe he thrives. Or maybe we're just romanticizing a guy who never quite hit the ceiling we hoped for. So here's my hot take. Welbeck's Chelsea move isn't about righting wrongs. It's about closure for everyone. United fans get to mythologize a lost era under Ferguson, while Welbeck gets a victory lap. But let's not pretend this is some grand redemption arc. He's a 35-year-old striker joining a team in transition. The real story is how nostalgia distorts our memory. We remember the 2013 Welbeck who scored against Arsenal, not the 2016 version who looked lost at Sunderland. The human brain loves a comeback narrative, but football? Football is mercilessly pragmatic. In the end, this isn't about Chelsea, United, or Welbeck. It's about how we assign meaning to decisions in a sport where 90% of the time, the outcome is chaos. So next time you hear a pundit lamenting a mistake from 5 years ago, remember regret is easy, context is hard, and the line between what if and what actually happened is thinner than a VAR offside call. What do you think? Did United truly lose a legend? Or just a chapter in their own redemption story? Let's fight in the comments.